I had to be here. I had to come. Even though I was afraid I might make a fool of myself. If you want to know the truth, that's exactly why I had to be here. I thought I might make a fool of myself. What am I talking about? Well, here it is. I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela once said, "There is no passion to be found in playing small and silent for a life in which you're less capable of living." I'm sure in your experiences in deciding what school you want to go to, picking a major, applying to college, deciding what you want to do in your life, people have told you, make sure you have something to fall back on, make sure you have something to fall back on, but I never really understood that concept. Having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything except for my faith. I want to fall forward. I figured at least this way I'll see I'm going to hit. Here's what I mean. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. You hear about the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I did not know that. Because the 1,001st was the light bulb. Fall forward. Every failed experiment was one step closer to success. You've got to take risks. I'm sure you've probably heard this before, but I'm here to tell you why it's so important. I got 3 reasons, and then you can pick up your iPhones. First, you will fail at some point in your life. You will lose at something, you will embarrass yourself, you will suck at something. I know this probably isn't a traditional message for a graduation ceremony, but hey, I'm telling you, embrace it, because it's inevitable. And I should know. I'm in the acting business, where you fail all the time. So early on in my career, I auditioned for a Broadway musical. The perfect role for me, I thought, except for the fact that I couldn't sing. So I'm in the wings, about to go on stage. The guy in front of me singing like Pavarotti, just going on and on and on, while I'm just getting smaller. So I go onto stage, I hand my paper to the accompanist. It was Just My Imagination by the Temptations. She looks at me, and I look at the director, so I start. Just my imagination. Then they're not saying anything. So I'm thinking, I must be getting good. So I start getting into it. Just my imaginations. And then they cut me off at the first verse. I assumed I didn't get the job. But they called me back the next day for the acting part. I knew I couldn't sing, but I knew I could act. My line was, "Hand me the cup, my dear." And his line was, "I shall hand you the cup, my dear. The cup will be there to be handed to you." So I said, "Okay, do you want it back?" And he said, "Oh yes, I want it back, because it is my cup and therefore should be given back to me." Suffice to say, I didn't get the part. But here's the thing. I walked out of that audition to prepare for the next one, and the next one, and the next one. I prayed, and I prayed. But I continued to fail and fail and fail. But you know the old saying, you hang around the barber shop long enough, you will get a haircut. You will catch a break. Recently, I did a play called Fences on Broadway. And I won a Tony Award for it. But here's the kicker. It was at the Court Theater, the same theater where I failed 30 years prior. My point is here, every graduate has the talent and the training to succeed. But do you have the guts to fail? Here's my second point about failure. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. I'll say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. My wife told me this expression. To get something you never got, you have to do something you never did. Les Brown, a motivational speaker, made an analogy about this. He said, imagine you're on your deathbed, and surrounded by you are the ghosts of your unfilled potentials, the ideas of the ghosts you never acted on, the ghosts of the talents that you never used. And they're angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, you brought us to life. Now we go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes?